Yeah, those are all things we associate with Satan, science, and compassion, right? I mean, oh man, this is just unbelievable. So these clubs for the father of lies, the prince of demons, they claim they're not recruiting children, and yet they're recruiting children. They're saying, oh, we're going to do arts and crafts, and we're going to do intellectual development. And of course, all antichrist as can be. But honestly, we really should not be surprised that this is happening, folks, as our nation moves further and further into the darkness after multiple generations of godless and pagan indoctrination in the government schools. The next logical step is that they just totally come out of the closet and say, all right, we're satanic, okay? Because that's really what's going on here, folks. This is satanic. This does come from the pit of hell, regardless of what these people say about, oh, we don't really believe in Satan. We just want to teach Satan to your children. It's totally, totally ridiculous. Now, similar clubs to this, as I mentioned, have been popping up all over the country, even in really conservative areas, right? Vista Elementary in Taylorsville, Utah, got one like 5 years ago. And they're using this absolute perversion of the First Amendment to say that they have to be allowed to recruit children too. Now, if you go back and read the First Amendment, see, I think most people probably haven't read it because it would be so obvious immediately that this is baloney. But if you go back and read the First Amendment, all it says is that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. And of course, the state of Utah or the Chesapeake District in Virginia is not Congress, okay? And they're also not making any law respecting an establishment of religion. But it's quite ironic because when this First Amendment was written and even ratified, most of the states had established churches. So the idea that the Founding Fathers meant to kick the Bible out of school, kick Christianity out of government, was totally ludicrous. They were 100% Christians, with a few who people say might have been deists, but they were all basically saturated in a biblical worldview. And yet this perverse lie that the First Amendment requires us to allow, for example, a baby Baphomet in the Illinois state capitol, or requires us to allow Satanists to come onto school campuses and recruit our children for arts and crafts, is positively ridiculous. The people who wrote that amendment would be turning over in their graves. And it's quite ironic because when the U.S. Supreme Court struck out prayer and Bible from the schools in the early 1960s, one of the justices understood what was happening, and today we see the final result of that. Justice Potter Stewart wrote in his dissent that what was happening here was not the establishment of neutrality with respect to religion, but rather the establishment of a religion of secularism, or as John Dewey would have known it, the religion of humanism, which, when you boil it down, is really just Satanism, right? I'm my own God, you're your own God. The very same thing that Satan told Adam and Eve in the garden, right? Oh, ye shall be as gods, right? All you got to do is do what I say. So, folks, the government's not going to protect your children from this madness. In fact, the government is encouraging this madness with these lies about the First Amendment and things like that. It is up to you, Mom and Dad. No one's going to do it for you.